Hello everyone, and welcome to my video in English version. In this video, I would like to talk about law of attraction or law of projection and how is law of attraction in Islamic perspective. Since I knew law of attraction back in 2009, I fell in love with it instantly and adopted it as my daily life. Until one day I was wondering, is it okay for me to adopt such beliefs? Even though I'm happy with my life, but part of me didn't feel good about it. Then I looked for further reference that able to bridge my passion in law of attraction and how is it in Islamic perspective. Then I found a chirp story by infamous Dr. Zaidul Akbar. For those who doesn't know, Chirp Story is a website to archive and compile your tweets. Back in the day, a thread has not been created in Twitter. At that time, Dr. Zaidul Akbar was not as popular as today. Like now, every Indonesian knew him as a doctor who shared a lot about healthy living based on Rasulullah SAW guidance. To understand more about law of attraction in Islam, I would like to share it to you by all narrating a chirp story of Dr. Zaidul Akbar, published on August 9, 2013. Please listen to an interesting and scientific conversation about law of attraction, or Dr. Zaidul Akbar called it as law of Lauhul Mahfuz, and please do share it with others. Everything in the universe comes from the same source. If the sun can produce heat through a fusion reaction, in principle, human being can also do a fusion reaction. That is because humans are abundant in hydrogen, meaning that humans are very capable of sharing energy much more complex than the sun, because the raw material, namely hydrogen, is already in ourselves. In fact, the sun conducts more simpler fusion reaction. As for the sun, it only involves two protons fused together become a neutron. A neutron meet a proton and then recombining until there is a light. Which means that a person's strong belief or perception can lead he or she to a dimension which character of the dimension does not apply yet. This process only Allah knows, but we can explain it a bit. The single mechanism in nature is like the master computer that regulates every event in the universe. The universe itself is a coherent and interconnected system. From the most complicated to the simple process in the universe has a mechanism. A small incident happens somewhere will indeed affect the other place in the universe. This universal mechanism is holistic, meaning that all of it can be acknowledged from any position. Stephen Hawking calls it the universal mechanism or the subconscious, and he calls it the grand formula or the theory of everything, while Quran calls it Lauhul Mahfuz or Kitabin Mubin. Allah mentioned that in Surah Al-An'am, verse 59. And with him are the keys of the unseen. No one knows them except him. And he knows what is on the land and in the sea. Not a leaf falls, but he knows. And no grains is there within the darknesses of the earth, and no moist or dry thing, but that it is written in the clear record called Lauhul Mahfuz. The main computer or server or subconscious can be accessed by our brain because it is connected to humans. The human brains in billion can be analogous as a client computer. We access it through the subconscious mechanism. Carl Jung called it collective consciousness, or Maxwell's version of automatic mechanism. This mechanism not only affects a person but affects the other people around him. It even involves the surroundings. When someone believes in something, his subconscious will record that belief even though it looks illogical. The stronger the belief, the stronger the recording. Then there is an automatical subconscious mechanism that coordinates all the variables in the universe toward that belief. If our belief is steady, all the variable in nature seems to be moved to support that belief. Rational things do not seem applied anymore. Natural laws seem to stop because we have played with other dimensions. Neuroscience researchers have succeeded in mapping several types of brain waves when humans are under certain conditions. The theta wave, for example, marks the presence of calm, peace, soft, and soothing sensation in harmony. And what is unique is that the universe also has such frequency, and wherever we are, the waves are always there. If you believe in synchronicity, the two phenomena are of related to one another. In-depth exploration showing the uniformity of every particle in nature is a necessity. So, when someone is on theta wave, he is actually turning into the universe. That is when we feel calm and at peace. So, how can we access the Lawhul Mahfuz surface? From the consciousness down to the subconsciousness. Via what? Via serenity. How? The easiest and the fastest is through the reciting Quran. When a person reads the Quran, he is accessing his subconscious with the repetition that the Quran does. In fact, things that have been believed by some people to be the law of attraction can be true or could be wrong. What are the conditions? Change awareness and perception. Without knowledge and understanding of the future projection, change is difficult to occur. Awareness is needed as a combination of steps and activities to be carried out. How do you do it all? So easy. Go to the subconscious to access the host computer. So by accessing this Lawhul Mahfuz, all rationality will not apply because it speaks in another dimension. What is the key? Awareness. And awareness will start from a strength, namely faith. It is the highest power that we need. Faith knows no logic, and the more impossible the thought is, the less aware it is. Because the main computer does not recognize these terms, you can access to the owner of the main computer, namely the Lord of the worlds, and presume him with whatever you intend. So the perception that Allah is what His servant thinks is very true, because everything will happen according to its content. Not only the non-physical dimension, but our physical dimension will also react when we have arrived at the dimension. The question is, who is the owner of Lawhul Mahfuz? How does we access the owner of Lawhul Mahfuz? The answer is simple. With our prayers and intention toward Him. Whether your prayer is logic or not, whether you want it or not, the universe will follow you at His command. I repeat, at His command. There is no need to use logic in praying, because the super server at Lawhul Mahfuz does not ask, is it logical or not? And amazingly, you can access this Lawhul Mahfuz directly to his owner with your intention towards him. Lawhul Mahfuz can be accessed if our heart is in line with the frequency of the owner and the Lawhul Mahfuz itself. Yes, the choice is up to you, because Allah has given us unlimited capacity of our brain and is already online and inline. Whether we want to use it or not, that unlimited ability, I say unlimited because the human brain is limitless. Al-Quran already exists. Dhikr is there as a process to go inline and online with Lawhul Mahfuz. What is the proof? The waves during the correct dhikr, correct recitation of the Quran are a calm wave, right? All the calm waves, what that does mean? Allah wants His servant to always be online with His Lawhul Mahfuz. It is a shame if we doesn't use it, right? That's why do a lot of contemplation, do tafakkur, so we can access the Lawhul Mahfuz. So, what is the law that many people believe to be the law of the universe? I also don't know, but be careful because there are no Kitabun Mubin or Lawhul Mahfuz there. Everything happens automatically without the regulator. Who is the source? How is it done? So for me, whatever the laws are, they are all boiled down to one source, the Quran. The funny thing is that there are some of who don't even know that everything is already in the Lawhul Mahfuz. It has been arranged there at Lawhul Mahfuz. Who is in charge? The owner of the server. Just keep on imagining, taking action until you arrive at the desired dimension of Lawhul Mahfuz. Do it with the subconscious mechanism by entering the frequency earlier. That is why people who are close to Allah via dhikr can access it easily. The mechanism is already in Kitabun Mubin. Going to Lawhul Mahfuz server can be an infinite human who has entered another dimension. We are indeed infinite humans. Why? This is the explanation. Human brains consist of 1 trillion brain cells, while the beast has only 10,000 brain cells. With just a few thousand brain cells, this is what beasts can do. Construct livable multi-story buildings for entire beast community, take care of their children, collect pollen and various information, communicate through gestures and voices. Counting, dancing, distinguishing other beasts, fly at high speed, regulate body temperature and smell, make strategic and difficult decisions, huddle together and made a sophisticated formation. If we compare, it means that it only 0.000001% of human brain. It turns out that the human brain is only used a maximum of 5%. A study shows that the nerve cell in the human brain is 10 billion and have a probability of being connected by 28 zeros, means 10 to the power of 28 zero behind. That is, if you write down to the total permutation combination in the brain, it will be 1 followed by 10.5 million kilometer zeros. That is why the human brain is almost limitless. So, if you want to access Lawhul Mahfuz, then the requirement is that fully believe it, and then awareness is needed to guide this great step in activities. So, accessing this Lawhul Mahfuz, they'll start with awareness, consciousness as Khalifah fil ard and his servant. And then the most important thing is to get into that universal mechanism first with those waves, consciousness to subconsciousness, and finally reach the surface. Yes, that's it. Still want to be an ordinary human? Whereas we were given unlimited access to the Lawhul Mahfuz. That is why when the owner of the server gave access to Lawhul Mahfuz, everything was possible. Are these our terms and conditions? Sure. Avoid immorality, avoid sin, avoid bad things. If you do it, it will be difficult to access. Prophet Sulaiman salam was able to access the wind and even talk to the hudhud bird. Nah, that is the end of the chirp story narration by Dr. Zaidul Akbar. What do you think, guys? Have you ever been also like me, who question all the law of attraction in an Islamic perspective? And what do you think about the chirp story from Dr. Zaidul Akbar? Does it make sense to you? Or after this, do you want to adopt this belief, or you still want to stick to your former belief about law of attraction by The Secret? I would love to talk about it with you. Just comment down below and wait for my next video about the application of law of attraction of Lawhul Mahfuz in my version. So goodbye.